So you and I have talked many times in the past about a woman from Arizona's past resurfacing and wooing her or something, but this is pretty much the next best thing.
Right. Right. Yeah. I tread lightly here because I know what it's like to be invested in a show and really champion characters and love them together and everything else. And I am the biggest, I loathe adultery. And I think cheaters never win. But since it's not real, I think that it, you know, when Shonda told me about the idea, I mean, I thought it was incredibly edgy and risky and oh my God, it totally upset the apple cart for me. I was like, what, really? And then when I thought about it and I tried to make it, you know, there we were in the scenes and making it work, I realized that it's such fertile ground for the drama and the thrills that we all want from our TV sets.
But was a small part of you protective of Arizona's morality?
You know, no. Interestingly enough, no. Because again, I also think that, unfortunately, but it's very human to do a bad thing but not be a bad person. She did a bad thing. And I think on some level it's just she did something really reckless and she didn't think. And that's the whole line, you know, when Hillary's character says, you know, you're allowed to lose a little control. That's it. That's what it is. I was watching the teaser for last week's episode and, you know, she's got the hair and the curls and she's in the elevator and she's getting flirted with and she's the object of someone's affection and it's like a full tilt boogie. She goes the other way. And I think that there's something about that and what happened from, I mean, I think there's something about what happens in the beginning, the devastating loss, where she was just holding on so tightly to just keep it together, to just like get through every day. And all the different, you know, incarnations of that, from being a miserable person to the, you know, to get herself back to being right again, I think took a lot of energy and a lot of holding on and a lot of controlling herself. And I think that this was a trigger where she just went, I'm gonna lose control.
So what all happened in that on-call room?
Well, what did? I mean, we actually, I think we're still talking about it because you don't see what happens in there. There's cheating now. Whatever it is, it's not good.
Pretty much anything that could have happened happened.
Yes. I think yes.
Based on the clip we had the other day, looks like there's a awkwardness now between Arizona and Lauren. Is Arizona feeling a little bit of shame there?
I think also the way that it's set up, and I think a lot of viewers felt like, well, wait a second, she didn't even know her that long. Like, how could she have just, you know, fallen into bed with her? Like, then you have to remember it's Grey's Anatomy, and that's, I mean, I watched this show and I was a huge fan of the show before I was on the show, and that was what I loved. I loved all the bed hopping and the no he did not, no she didn't, and did she really, and oh my God, that's what made you lean in. It's what made you tune in the next week because you wanted to see how things got resolved. And when I came to the show, I got thrown a million amazing stories, but pretty much from the beginning, once Kelly and Arizona, you know, hooked up, it was them. And then they got married, and then it just seemed like that's what it was going to be. So again, I think it's brave to know that you're about to do something that's going to upset people, but do it in the name of trying to tell a good story, trying to tell an interesting story. It would be really boring to watch them just be happy.
Is this going to surface some issues between them in the finale?
Listen, there's a scene in the finale that was devastating and heartbreaking to shoot, you know, and for a lot of different reasons, because believe you me, it goes up, it goes down, it goes all around. And I think, again, because you asked about Arizona's morality, that she's not the kind of character that was going to, you know, have this covert affair and be skulking around on call rooms and living this like lie. You know, there's a fallout. You know, so what happened in that on-call room with Arizona and Lauren is gonna come to light.
The devastating scene you were just talking about, is that the one that Shonda told us about that left the gasping at the table read?
Yeah, we did this scene and it was like it was the bomb dropping moment. It was just intense. And I thought, ooh, wow. I mean, I don't even know how are we going to now shoot that scene and best what we did in the table read, because everyone was so to their core affected by it. And so we go to shoot the scene, and again, tired, end of the year, but also lends itself to being a little more raw, a little more available. And again, we're, you know, shooting it in this with this storm around us as the environment and as the setup. And we did the rehearsal. We kind of did it, you know, mellow rehearsal, and then we went to shoot it. And we finished the master, which is when, you know, the camera's out and you get the whole tableau of us. And our crew started clapping. And it gives me goosebumps now because it was such a kind, wonderful sort of embrace of support from the people that we work with every day that are completely jaded. I mean, they're the ones that are behind the cameras pulling and pushing and focusing, and they're so, I mean, it seems like they're so oblivious to what's happening most times, you know, because it's their work. But this moment was big. It's a big scene, and it's really intense, and it's going to get you.
I'm Haley Steinfeld, and you're watching ENTV.
Hi, my name is Kieran Shipka, and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV. I just touched it with my mouth, sorry.